Grand Rising, kindred spirits. And for those who are new, I welcome you too. Also, I just want you to know that I'm not here to make you think like me. I just want you to think. Even though I may be called Anita the Healer, I'm not here to heal you, but to teach you based on some of my research and experiences of how or what resources you can use to help heal yourself. Okay? Each one teach one. And while we're here, go ahead and let your fingers travel to the subscribe button or your mouse pointer travel over to the subscribe button and tap subscribe. Also, click on the thumbs up button or the like button and give me a like to keep me in rotation so that for those who are in need of this information can have access to it as well. Hit the notification bell after you subscribe so that way you will know when I upload a video and get a notification. Then, please give me some feedback. Volunteer some information by leaving some comments below or even some questions that you may want asked below. Now that we got that out the way, let's jump into this, all right? Okay. Okay, so today I'm getting a little more deeper into my research, my studies, as well as some of my experiences. And the reason why is because me doing a lot of self-reflection, I do this occasionally when I feel I need an upgrade on how I process mentally situations, other people. And sometimes we may not realize that we do some unhealthy mental processing based on our environment, our peers, what we learn from the media. And just because it's in our environment, our peers, or even our family, doesn't mean that it's always healthy. What we have to understand that even those who influence our lives make mistakes. And we all have to learn from our mistakes. Okay? And with learning from our mistakes, we should take time out in our day sometimes when we're not busy, when the day has kind of like calmed down, or even during meditations or right before we go to bed, to reflect on that day and how we handled certain situations. Sometimes I even find myself when I have come across a certain situation that has got me emotionally stirred. This is something I have learned to do and equipped myself to do so that I can better, how you say, fight back, hold back, to keep to keep drama down, to minimize chaos. I reflect, I think on it. Sometimes I even sleep on it. And it's okay to wait 24 to 48 hours to come back to a certain situation. And even when you bring certain situations up to people after waiting that long, try to understand it is okay to be you. Some people may not understand, like, dang, that's been on your mind that long. You've been taking yourself through that mental drama. I've held up that much space in your mind. And just let them know, say, no, this is how I process things. I just want to make sure I am not overreacting. And even if I am not overreacting, I just want to communicate. I just want to get clear with myself before I approach a situation to talk about it. Yes, I could have talked about it with you at that time, but I think at that time I was feeling too emotional to think straight. Okay? It's okay to be you. And if you even find in conversations where people may make fun of that, then that's a red flag to let you know, okay, this person ain't even worth talking to or trying to resolve a situation. Then what you do is you just walk away. You forgive yourself for the situation and forgive them because it may take them some time to understand and process that people does not process information or handle situations the same as the next person. Okay. So I've made a list of talking points to kind of bring to our awareness and just give you some of my ideas, some of my resources that I use, and just to bring light of the situation so that next time when you find yourself facing a situation, you don't have to really necessarily use some of my resources, but you can come up with your own, use your own approach based on your character and personality. Okay. See, but anyway, here we go. Okay. So let's talk about good and bad because some of us lived in a distorted reality about good and bad or good and bad. Well, there was a time in my life when I was much younger, based on religion or based on what I learned eventually, what's good and bad, and from a general sense, I used to try to be all good. Now, even in being all good, came with some judgments of others. Okay. Now, what I've come to learn about being good and what's bad is not based on a generalization. Excuse me, a generalization is based on what trials and tribulations you go through or how you perceive or know and feel just from learning experiences. And that thought process can change over time as you mature or as you grow in time, whatever that time is, however you spiral out of that situation. But just know that what's good for me may not be good for you. Now, a lot of people say, well, if you're Christian, you're not supposed to kill nobody. No, but then you have to think about a life or death type situation when it comes to surviving. That concept of not killing when someone is trying to kill you can go out of the window. You just have to use your best judgment during the times of survival. It can differ for everybody. Some people may be okay with just allowing their time in this physical existence to end when they realize I've taken it far enough on my road to trying to survive. Ain't much more I can do. Okay. So there is a such thing as positive and negative. Still, people may measure that to be good and bad. We all have positive and negative energies, of frequencies that we have to exercise the mental or physical aspects in order to make decisions. That's why you have those energies or frequencies that you carry within and around you. Through life, you're learning what's good for me and what's not good for me. Okay? And with understanding, overstanding what's good for you and what's not so good for you comes with interactions with other people. And even at that time, it can change along the way. It may not always stay the same, but in the same respect that you may have the understanding or overstanding of what's good or bad for you, keep in mind that whatever that is for you may not apply to the next person, place, or thing. So even with that being said, sometimes we have a hard time with accepting what's good and bad for others and for yourself, or what's general. We may have a hard time accepting that. But with some time with yourself, having a talk with yourself to help you deal with the reality, okay? Because not everybody is from your world. Not everybody was raised in your home, okay? Not everybody processes information the same way you do. You still have to come to that reality of being able to accept what's given to you. Sometimes what's given to you is also a lesson and an awareness to help you to evolve and grow into a better person and be able to respect the space of others. Another situation or another scenario. Okay. When it comes to, a lot of people have, I've even went through this before, okay? Where, let's speak about races, different races and cultures, or different cultural backgrounds. Or genders. It can be a gender thing. You have an interaction with a person of a certain gender or persons of each gender in a place dealing with a thing, and you may not get treated so good by that person. Keep in mind that your interaction was not with the whole race, with not everyone labeled as that gender, not everyone from that cultural background. Now, where we get this, of course, we come from sometimes a subconscious, unconsciously judgmental, because you have an interaction of one person within that race, of that gender, of that culture. We have a tendency to generalize our interaction with one person or maybe two people. We have a problem with generalizing the whole population the whole race of them, all of the genders act like that. Even when it comes to dating, how we feel about one person, place, or thing, we tend to blame it on all of them. And why is that? Why? I can't answer that question for you on an individual level. It could come from what you was verbally taught. Someone told you, or what someone wants you to think about them based on the media. Now, not everything in the media you should just right off the bat believe. Why? Because when you go behind the scenes in the media, there's some things, or a lot of things, that get edited out. Some things get edited where some of that stuff stays in. So if you understand that even the media can be tricky and can be utilized to manipulate how you think and view people, places, and things, you come to realize that the tale lies visually has a way of programming, television programming. Programming means to get you to think, feel, speak, and act a certain way. And them ways may go against your own individual morals. And what did we speak about good and bad, what we consider good and bad on a general level? Because that general level could come from programming, whether it not just be media. It can also be in institutions, because institutions of learning, or any kind of institutions, even with their rules and laws, may not be something you accept on an individual basis, and how you're being groomed to live. Now, sometimes, based on the rules and laws of a country, city, state, village, we may have to conform for our survival. But yet, you can still be in the world and not of it. You can be in that world, in that system of looking like you're a part of. You're forced to act for your survival. So with that in mind, and some of these, what I have mentioned thus far, may have been your type of thinking and feeling, which has caused you to say things or act or react to those types of conditioning for your survival, will allow you now to reflect and reconsider your past perceptions of others, people, places, things, and how you've been living in the world. Okay. Sometimes we're forced to remain neutral so that we don't go against our own individual morals. We have to step away for our survival and not get involved. Doesn't make you a bad person. You know, you've heard that phrase, the soul is willing, but the body is weak. My soul wants to help, but my body ain't ready for that pain. Please forgive me. And I forgive you, Anita. Let's not guilt trip ourselves. Let's deal with things from a real reality standpoint of standards and sometimes survival. Okay? So be careful of the labels you put on others, because guess what? There's a label being put on you, especially if you live in the mindset of trying to people please. If you're one of those, and I know you're like, well, what's wrong with people pleasing? It really depends on you as an individual. How does it make you feel? How do you see yourself? But sometimes people pleasing may mean kissing behind. Kissing the part where mess come out. That mess when you sit on the door. Not knowing if they wipe themselves clean. The person who you are kissing butt to. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's get to the next one. Okay, so here's one. Judging a situation and believing the false outcome you perceive about it. We just talked about that. But what you mean, but what I mean by that, based on your own thinking, your own morals and interpretations of the situation, person, place, or thing. Let's just say situation. You may walk in on something and did not see or hear what took place from the beginning. Now, I have watched many of movies and I have seen in person many of situations with people who will jump to conclusions in their head, in their heart, and believe the false. The false could be good, it could be bad. The truth of the matter may be good or bad. But if you come in and insert yourself in a situation not knowing the full story, how it began, before you think you know how it should end, it's best not to give light to it in your mind and judge that situation based on not having enough evidence or enough information to help settle your soul. And really, for those who belief stands on judging, not judging, you come into a situation not knowing the full scope of it, tell yourself, Anita, I ain't got nothing to do with it. Let me just go on about my life. Let me just finish my day. If the conversation comes up, then you can probably insert your questions and help understand and maybe give your input on what you thought about it. So they can give you some clarity about the situation. But sometimes, because I know you might say, well, because I was about to say, sometimes it's just best to leave the situation alone. Just leave it alone. But some people got to be nosy to curb their appetite to gossip. And I know you might be like, well, Anita, how you go on with your day? Because you got to realize that's not your business. Make it your business to mind your own business. Because eventually, what's in the dark eventually comes to light. That's not your business to even discuss that. If you have a bad habit of gossiping, then you need to check yourself. Boo boo. Okay. No puns intended. All right, let's move on. About even with that being said, you know, sometimes you'll be in a situation where something happens where you don't like it, or the other person don't like it, or because certain things aren't communicated very well to bring about a peaceful situation, or or to satisfy your insecurities or your overthinking and false imagination. Instead of jumping to conclusions from a minor situation that is very solvable, really check yourself. Check yourself. Because even if it escalates into something problematic and you don't like being in situations like that, then check yourself. Think about how you could have handled that differently. Just be mindful. I'm not pointing the fingers at anyone. Even if you may think that person was a demon or evil, just know even the other person can change their ways. And the next time you meet them, could be a totally different person than what you perceived at that time. So it is always good and helpful sometimes if you find that you were the one who caused a minute, minor situation to blow up into something that wasn't because of your false imagination, overthinking, your insecurities. It is okay to use that word. I apologize. And for those with those egotistical, proud-chested people who think they can't say it with their chest because they're too proud, you are the problem. Because people like that will find themselves in a situation where they're trying to survive because they done allowed a very minor situation to escalate to death or to escalate to a terrible breakup, where knowing your feelings may be deep for someone, but you was too proud to come forward, too scary. And that's where you have to learn at that moment of heartbreak to step out of your comfort zone. And if it results into death, depending on, because sometimes people kill another person just because, oh, okay, I'm still alive. I can spend this time in jail, but not realizing that some people can vote to have you be put on death row. And some people say, this is why we have the problems that we have in the world, because people don't take time out to sit back and think their actions through. Just remember, all of this is an illusion. And some people are living their lives as actors and actresses. And even though you can be as real as possible, there have been people who have been programmed to act. And even sometimes for your survival, you act. So reflect on your script for your survival and how you want to minimize problems and drama in your life. I don't know if that's the best advice, but remember, these are just some ideas and resources to use. You fill in the blanks, or you can come up with your own script of approval. Okay? I'm not here to make you think like me. I just want you to think to make this world a better place for yourself, if not for others. And to make it a better place for others, if you want this world to be a better place, you got to respect how other people may process it before you decide to bring it to somebody's attention. Because some people take everything personal. Consider their mind process and emotional states. It may not be on point, especially in this day and time. You see the type of stuff going on in this world. Dude, sometimes you got to be like, people, hey, Martha Sue, you got to be very careful. It's like you walking barefoot on glass. And so that glass don't puncture you, you got to be very careful how you step into the situation. Okay. All right. So as I just said, there are even about how you approach a situation. Some people approach situations using their emotions, how they feel about it at the moment, not considering that later, them emotions have gone away, and now your mindset is changed. Now you don't care, or now you just think differently. This is why you have to view a situation while calm. You have to be able to assess and respond in a calm manner. And sometimes at the moment of the situation while it's happening and you feeling very emotional, that calls for great discipline of controlling those emotions so you don't blow up and go off in the wrong way. You got to be able to contain yourself and come back another day. If not another day, another hour after you thought it through. Or sometimes just walk away and just don't even come back. for your survival. People are just running rampant with their emotions and allowing their emotions to decide for them. These are things I had to learn. Yes, indeed. All this stuff I'm talking to y'all about today, I felt some kind of way. And life has taught me, beat my behind, knock the heck out of me, got me sick, ill, snotty nose, swollen eye, bad attitudes. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you may feel like, Anita, but do you realize there's so many rules, laws, and regulations, procedures, and policies out there? That is the way the system controls you. But you got to be a master control of your own system, this of yourself, a master disciplined controller of self. Okay. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. So if you're more than human, and some people may say, well, I'm human. I'm on the, they put them lower vibrational labels on themselves. This is why you can't just jump in relationships. You just can't jump into friendships. You got to really get to know people. For real, I ain't lying. Get to know people. Because in getting to know people, you can decide on the red flags that you think you saw and hear, which way you want to deal with the situation. And I know some of y'all may work around people like that, but you may just have to just deal with people cordially. Hey, how you doing? So-and-so wanted me to ask you about that report. Keep it business, nothing personal. Keep it business. When you gotta know you got a family to feed, mortgage, rent to pay, bills to pay. Sometimes you got to train yourself that when I go to work, that's all I'm going there to do. And I'm dealing with people, and people say things, off the way. Oh, you're not supposed to wear them kind of shoes. And if you and the boss know, the person in authority know why you're wearing these shoes, then what Susie or John has to say about your shoes. Like, you still got that report. Sometimes you got to be nonchalant with it. And the more nonchalant you with people like that who's trying to give heat to something where there is no heat needed because it's already some done. Sometimes you just keep the conversation professional. When you got what you needed, just walk away. All right, have a good one. Or thank you. And go on about your business. Shoot, that's a part of being a good actress or actor. Knowing how to act or react. Okay. Yes. Keep that in mind. All right. When it comes to the workplace as well. Because you never know. People may see your light and may just feel uncomfortable with who you are and what you're trying to do with your life. It may be too good for them. How you walk, how you look, they may think, oh, she think. You know what I'm saying? The way they process, using all kinds of emotions. You might have an aura, energy that's hitting them, that's disturbing their peace. Well, I don't want to say disturbing their peace, disturbing their misery. Misery love company. And you ain't got to be in the company of it. It's just that when you come face to face with it, be professional, casual, respectful, and keep it moving. Okay? Okay, so we all have standards that we have made for ourselves. But keep in mind, your best friend got standards that they live and strive for themselves. I remember I had a situation where this lady has a best friend. And, I'm not going to go into detail about the situation, but the lady was going through some things. And she even said she understood that the friend was going through some things. Now, her standards is she wanted the friend to console her and be a certain way because that is what she would do for them. But the friend had a little conversation. She verbalized and let the lady know, look, I'm going through this and this and this and that. I'm gonna need some time away. I won't be around for this amount of weeks or months. And I'll give you a holla, a call back when I'm able to cope, when I feel things are better, even if it goes beyond the expiration date that I'm saying. I might need a little time. So if I haven't called you yet, don't get upset. So that friend goes on. But in the mind of the one lady, the lady, instead of her communicating, getting understanding and verbalize it, but I need you here with me. She didn't question and ask questions to get understanding for her soul. All she thought about was her standards of how she would have handled it. Boo. This is how you lose friends, so-called friends. Okay. If they're like family, you want to keep them like family. Either ask questions to get understanding of what's going on with them and acceptance of how they need to cope and heal. You got to learn that. If you don't understand why your friend ain't doing it the way you do, it's because she has her own coping mechanisms, her own standards of how she handles herself and others. And all you can do is respect that. Because if how you do it is differently, that's how you do it. Do it. Okay. Do that. But not everybody do it your way. Because you may feel anxiety because you need your friend around. I need my homie. This is why it is good to have some alone time, be alone time, lonely time, to get to the point. I know you like, Anita, why I gotta be lonely? Sometimes you need to feel that to learn how to cope with being alone and without your friends when they're going through their stuff. Let them be alone because you don't want that stuff to carry over on you. Sometimes you got to look at it like that. Like, okay, well, Whatever she's going through, I don't need it. Let me let her deal with that and find somebody else to talk to. Talk to your mom, talk to your dad, talk to your child, talk to another friend, go out and do some things. Don't become so attached to people, places, and things. Maybe that's what you need not to do is attach yourself. Learn to detach so you can understand and enjoy the joy of hanging out with yourself. And if you need some tips on what to do with that, let me know. Because I got some. So I got a lot of it. Okay. Okay. So y'all heard of the blame game, right? Blaming others for something that maybe you could have handled differently. And even though, because someone didn't show up, or because somebody did this, now you feel this, or whatever the case may be, to cause a situation for you to point the finger, just remember these three fingers pointing back at you. You're also being held accountable. You're also being held accountable. Oh, she made me sick. Something she said. No. But because any and everyone have their own mind, they can do whatever the heck they want to with their mouth. So what's come out of it, you cannot be held accountable or hold them accountable for what comes out their mouth. You can hold yourself accountable for how you handle what comes out of their mouth. This is about survival. Remember what I talked about earlier. Whichever way. Remember what I talked about earlier. Knowing how to act or react. You can't blame people for how you feel. If you're emotionally attached to someone and they say something you don't like and you wasn't expecting them to say, or you don't like because they said it, maybe see it as a red flag, or maybe they're saying some things you might need to hear. Like right now, you might need to hear this. Maybe that's their way of being compassionate with passion and cussing you out to get you straight. Yeah, you ain't gonna like them words. Make you cry. You gotta walk away and have some feels about it. But once you get over them feels, think things through, you might start missing them. Like, okay, they were right. I was so messed up. Now, how you gonna handle it? You're gonna go apologize. You're gonna talk to them and get some understanding, because this is a part. This is the human life. We're learning how to be in this human existence for our survival, for our peace of mind, and happiness and joy of being with others who are not like us. Dog tailored. And I'm not calling you dog tailored. I'm just saying that's me not using profane words. The kind of causes that ignites with some kind of heat or fluid and things blow up in your face. But yeah, that part. That part. Just remember, it takes two. And if and blaming someone, blaming you, or you blaming somebody, and if you're the blame or the one being blamed, see it as a red flag. Try to understand the blame. What is this situation? Talk it out. You know the dance, walk it out, walk it out. Now Anita, walk it out. Talk it out. Talk it out. Figure out a way to work it out. That's what I say. Okay. Lastly, about those people who make situations so personal. When someone says something and they telling their story, you might be thinking, oh, I talked to them about this 5 years ago. Maybe they kept saying that about me. Why you got to include yourself? You may not be all that in their minds. You may be talking about something new that done came up. Stop making stuff personal. We can live in a better world. Now, I'm not only saying this to y'all because these are things that I have done. And I'm probably talking to myself. And myself could be y'all who are an extension. For me to be able to recognize this within me, I've had to partake in it. And all of this stuff that I've come to y'all about. Okay. This is how we learn interactions, the human experience. We're having a human experience right now. We're trying to get into our authentic selves, basically, by becoming self-aware through self-reflection and retrospection. A self-inspection is what we need. And this making it personal by saying or comparing your looks, what you have, etc., to somebody else, boo-boo. In a lot of people's lives, they don't care about how you look. Yeah, maybe in the past, looks have gotten people far. What a person have may, in some people's mind, consider them, they got it all. As far as what you can see. That's as far as what you can see. When you look at a person, you see their good looks. That's as far as you can see. You can't see inside of them. As far as what they have, a house, a car, you don't know what goes on, what the car look like on the inside after they step out. You don't know what the house is like. You don't know what's going on inside the house. All you know, you think they got it. And a lot of times, ooh, that make my head back because I sometimes get caught up. And that's not what matters. Because your mission in life, what you're here to do, is not what anyone else is meant to do. And even if they have a similar mission, they could be a part of your tribe, but don't get it twisted. Remember, you got to get to know people. And getting to know people is not in one sit-down conversation. You got to see how things go over a period of time and how things are handled. Or how they handle things, how you handle things, because some people may not want to be around you. And it's okay. It is okay. Everybody mission in this world is so different. And just because you're the chosen one, be chosen to yourself. You ain't got to let the world know. There's just certain things, it's just got to be confidential with you. And those things that get recognized by you, don't have a chip on your shoulder because nobody else recognizes it. You recognize it. That's all that matters. If you get the recognition, you get the recognition, but be patient. You might think you deserve the recognition. Don't get upset. For a long time, nobody recognizes it. And don't act a donkey to get recognized, or else everybody is going to see you as that, an ass. Oh, excuse me, a donkey. Okay? It's okay. That's why it's good to love yourself. Because in loving yourself, you can do them things. You can recognize yourself every day. You turn on them, you open up turn on the light and stand in front of the mirror. You recognize yourself. Take a picture, post it on social media, recognize yourself. Today, I recognize me on Facebook, on Instagram, TikTok, or whatever it may be. Make a video and recognize yourself. What you want to hear others say about you, say it to yourself. Take yourself out. Buy yourself things. And if you can't do what you see others doing for a long period of time, there's other things you could be doing and trying to be like the neighbors or your sister, cousin, husband, or what have you. You got to tap into you, your authentic you, what you are meant to do. How you may not need to live in a house as big as your friends or the neighbors or whatever. Come on now. Love on you. Are you enjoying what you got right now? Enjoy what you have. Because sometimes the more you get, the more problems. The more responsibilities, more problems. Enjoy not having those problems. But if you want a stressful life, then continue to be like John, Jack, Jill, and Joan. I'd rather be myself. Enjoy what you have today. Trying to creep over into somebody else's house and steal what you think is valuable to them. When you finally get your valuables, guess what? Somebody can creep over and take from you. And trust me, it's not an honor to have stuff taken from you when you've worked hard to get it. All right? Get it. All right? This has been AnitaYarbrough, your holistic healing life coaching counselor. Hit a sister up. No, don't hit, because subscribe. Send me an email. Go to some of my social media platforms and leave me a DM. And that DM stands for a direct message. Also known as a text, where you have to type it in. Or some situation you can leave a voice message. Yeah, do that. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. It's all good. You need to talk to me? Let's talk. Okay? Let's get this situation into a formed liberation of each other. All right, gotta go. All right. Thank y'all for the love and support. Remember, give me some input. Give me some situations, some ideas, or whatever you want to hear me talk about. I might choose, if it makes sense to me, I might choose if it's a good thing to talk about. I'm gonna talk about it, boo-boo. If I ain't too tired. All right. certified NLP practitioner dedicated to empowering individuals such as yourself to transform their lives through holistic healing, life coaching, and counseling. And today, yes, I'm excited. I'm excited to share with you my signature program, which is designed to help you unlock your purpose and align with your true self. Our program, Transformative Healing, a metaphysics and NLP approach towards self-discovery and authentic living, is a transformative journey that combines metaphysical insights with neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP, techniques to help you overcome challenges and discover innate abilities to heal and transform relationships with yourself and others, as well as establish healthy boundaries. My key components are: 1, self-authentication based healing. This module focuses on understanding the importance of healing and self-authentication and leading a purposeful life. You'll learn to balance your light and dark psyche, use mental and emotional coping techniques, and gain self-acceptance through positive self-talk. 2, lifestyle-based healing. In this module, you'll learn how to tap in to natural survival resources and follow intuitive influences to create a new lifestyle. You'll replace unwanted habits with better practices, identify stress triggers, and understand influences affecting your lifestyle choices. 3, communication-based healing. This module teaches you to express and communicate your thoughts and feelings effectively. You'll learn to listen to your true voice, creatively express your imagination, and communicate commands to your subconscious mind for positive change. And 4, community-based healing. The final module focuses on transforming community dynamics. You'll learn to manifest your needs and wants, recognize patterns for better change, identify individuals of influence, and create a space that fosters peace and harmony. Our program is designed to help you evolve to a new level of self-authentication in this new upcoming paradigm. Now, are you ready to embark on this transformative journey with me? Please join our program today and unlock your true potential. I welcome you back, and I look forward to speaking with you. So get ready. On your march, set, to, go. Thanks.